Okay, in this video and next video we will talk about CIM in Splunk. Okay, so basically the Splunk Common Information Model, or the CIM, is used for the data normalization. That means, let's say I have multiple sources, right? And from there I am receiving similar kind of event. Now in our dashboard, if I just wanted to use those two data sources for visualization purpose, so if I do not have any kind of common field names, I have to either use the rename command or some mechanism, or I have to create field alias, just some mechanism to make those two sources equivalent, right? That is called nothing but the data normalization. So you use common field names, events, event types, tags for different types of source which are basically producing equivalent events, or basically similar kinds of event, and then use it for other purposes. Okay, so in Splunk, this particular normalization or data normalization approach has been implemented using this CIM app. Okay, and this particular CIM app comes up with lot of predefined data models for different kinds of data sources, which can be configured and can be used to produce the normalized data. Now, apart from the data normalization, this particular app can be used for different other purposes, like how your data is CIM compatible or not. So whenever you are able to normalize your data using this CIM app, we said like the data you have, it is called like the CIM compatible data, right? Now using this particular app, you can verify that one as well, and you can create alerts, reports, those type of stuff. So we'll see like different use cases of CIM app as well. Now in this particular video, what we will see is we will try to see how we can install CIM and the data setup for our own purpose. Okay, because I just spent quite good amount of time on setting up this particular data, so I thought like I'll just share with you all as well. So as we said, why CIM is required? If you see, like I have two different sources. The first source is actually creating a field called, let's say, IP underscore address, and the second source is creating a field called IP underscore ADR. Both of these fields are having similar values like IP address basically. So in those cases, what you can do, you can use CIM app to convert these fields into a common field name called, let's say, IP. Okay, then in your dashboard you will just use that common field name IP over there. Okay, you do not need to worry about this IP underscore address or IP underscore ADR fields. Okay, you can always refer a IP address field as IP over there. So that's the usefulness of CIM app. So you have to, as a consumer, or basically at the end consumer of this particular app, what you need to do is, for a particular domain, let's say, when I talk about domain, because CIM app comes with lot of predefined models, let's say authorization kind of data, or email data, or intrusion detection data, right? So for a particular domain in concern, you just need to know this field means this. That means you just need to know a very finite set of field names and what they mean. That's it, right? So that field names you will be creating using the CIM app. We'll see in when we will be working with our data, we will see how to achieve that one as well. Okay, now this is one use case. There could be another similar use case like this one. Let's say you have a data source and you are trying to build an add-on over there. Okay, so now this particular add-on, what it does, it basically creates a props.conf and transform.conf, so that you will be creating separate fields, extracting fields, those stuff, right? Now this particular data, you want to use it in your Splunk, consume in your Splunk enterprise security application. Now this enterprise security application is already CIM compatible, right? That means for a particular data domain, it knows what are the different fields it can use. So if you can make your data CIM compatible, then in Splunk enterprise security application, it just can consume your data and show it in its dashboard, right? So in those purpose, basically, if you see, you have your own custom add-on and there is a Splunk security application, enterprise security application, right? So two different application, they just wanted to talk to each other with a common ground. That's why this SIM application exists over there. Okay, so hopefully, like, why SIM exists, we are able to understand. Now what I'll do is we will go to our compute engine, and basically we will set it up the whole stuff in a cloud environment now. Okay, so first we will do is, so in this particular exercise, what we will be doing is we will be using the OSSEC data. So OSSEC is basically an open source host-based intrusion detection system that can be used to keep track of the severe different activities over there in your system, right? So it's basically generate events with different kinds of severity values. So based on that, you can basically take decisions like what's going on with your system. And if you go to Splunk CIM documentation and the example part, so they have given a example of on the similar kind of data as well. Okay, so that's why I choose to take this one as a data source. Now here I don't think they have discussed like how to set up this particular data, so that's why like I was thinking like I will do the data setup from the scratch, so that you can just follow that part as well. Okay, so what we'll do is we will first create an instance in our Google Cloud. So now how to install Splunk in Google Cloud Ubuntu, I have discussed in my admin playlist. I will be doing the same stuff again, but I will not explain it much. We will give it a name called instance 2, let's say. Okay, so region is fine for us. Now this is also fine. I'll just choose 2 virtual CPUs. Okay, and the image I will be choosing Ubuntu, and Ubuntu 16.04 is fine for us. Okay, and size, let's say 20 GB, and I'll click on select. Now over here in the access scopes, just mention allow default access. In the firewall, just tick these 2 check boxes over here. Okay, allow HTTP and HTTPS traffic. So let's wait for the instance to be created. Okay, our instance has been created. We will SSH to this particular instance. So it takes a little bit amount of time. So if you want to use PART-1 also, you can just go ahead and do it. I just find this one is easy to follow. That's why I'm just doing this one. So if you can do your own with your SSH credentials, you can use PART-1 and other related softwares as well. I'll just sudo. And now what I'll do is I will follow the same instruction they have provided over here. So this particular link I'll be providing in my video description as well. Okay, just follow that one. Even in my GitHub repo, I will be providing you one documentation which mention the similar step. So not only this particular steps, we have to follow some other steps so that this OSSEC can generate Syslog data, which we can consume in Splunk. So that extra information will be present in the documentation as well. Okay, so just follow that. So first we have to this apt-get, we have to upgrade it. So we will do that. Okay, after that just upgrade it. Okay, now for OSSEC to work, it needs GCC, libc, Apache and PHP. Just install them using apt-get. After installation done, we have to install OSSEC from the GitHub repo. Just copy this particular command and run it. Okay, it will basically download from that GitHub that particular file. So once you receive this particular tar file, just unzip it using tar. Okay, now it will basically create there'll be this particular folder. Okay, so just go inside this particular folder and run this installation command sh install.sh. Okay, so it will basically try to install that OSSEC. Now while installing that, it will ask you for the language setup, so we'll give en over here. Now it is saying press enter to control. So basically enter to continue. Now what kind of installation do you want? So if we just follow the setup, now over here they are saying like it should be either server, agent, local or hybrid. We will say local, so because you wanted to install it locally, so local. Now this is the default directory. It will be installing the OSSEC hide, so let us skip that one only. Now do you want to email notification? We will say yes. Okay, you can give an email ID over here as well. Okay, let's say test@gmail.com. okay, so that you can give your email ID as well. Now we found this particular SMTP server. Okay, use this particular server. Do you want to run the integrity check daemons? So if I just go over here, so we reach till this point over here. Integrity check daemons by default is Y, so we will keep it as Y. Do you want to run the rootkit detection engine? We will keep it as Y. Now do you want to enable the active response? So if you see it, by default it is Y, so we will keep it as Y. Enable the firewall drop response, I think it is also Y. Do you want to add more IPs to the whitelist? So if you have some more IPs to add to the whitelist, you can add it over here. Otherwise you can just mention it as no over here. Okay, so no, and enter to continue. So it will basically install the OSSEC over here. After that we will install a UI version of this one as well. Okay, it is saying press enter to finish, so we'll finish that. So OSSEC is install it over here now. Okay, so now what we need to do is after installation we just need to start it. So we'll just copy this particular command to start the OSSEC. Okay, it is started. Now you can check your email as well. So as we have just configured a test email, we will not do that one. We will mainly interested in the configuration part over here. Okay, so this is the main configuration file for OSSEC. So let us open it in a VI editor. Now over here couple of things is like you can either configure the email whatever you have it, okay, or you can also configure the syscheck, like what files you need to monitor, like if there is any change in your operating system level files, it will basically generate events as well. So those kind of stuff you can do that over here as well. Okay, so what we'll do is we will go over here, we will open this particular conf file, OSSEC conf file over here. If you see, these are the global information for email settings. Okay, so we will not touch that part as we will not interested in the email part. Okay, now if you see, if you go back over here, if you want to have a alert for whenever a new file is added to the server, you can add this one to the syscheck. Okay, this syscheck tag over here. So if I just go over here, so this is our syscheck tag. Now we can add it over here. Okay, so insert, we will add it over here for add new files. Now if you want to change this part, like whatever the directories you want to monitor over here, so you can change it over here as well. Okay, now also you need to make another changes over here called report underscore changes equals to yes, and real time equals to yes. I think real time it is there already. No, it is not there. So we will be basically adding these two parts over here as well. Okay, so we only having check underscore all equals to yes over here for these directories. We will be adding those two parts as well. Okay, so that we can real time monitor those changes over there as well. Okay, so let us add that one into these two directories over here. Insert space. Now over here as well, I'm just following whatever written in that documentation. Okay, now that is also done, and then we will just come out of this particular file and save it. Okay, now there is a local rules.xml as well. Let us add this particular settings over there. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just copy the file name local rules. I'll open it in a VI editor. Okay, here we will just add the rule settings over here. Okay, somewhere in this, under this group, let's say we will add it over here. Insert. Okay, we will save this particular file. Now we just need to restart OSSEC. We'll do that one. So we restarted OSSEC. Now let us try to install the UI version so that we will come to know OSSEC is working or not, and we will also see the events it generates. Okay, so that it will be easier to visualize what kind of data it generates over there. So let us quickly install that one. Okay, so then we will go to this particular directory, and then we will run the setup for the UI. Okay, so it will ask you for the username and password. Just give some username and password over here. And it will also ask you for the web server username, so you can follow this one over here as well. So they have given www-data. You can give that one as well over here. Okay, and so the setup is completed. So once the setup is completed, you need to restart Apache. So let's do that one. Okay, so now once is done, you can check the UI from here. So if I go over here, so this is our external IP of our instance we are working on, right? Instance 2 over here, right? So let us go back and place it over here. So it will be something like this one. So if I just copy this here and change the external IP over here and use this particular link in our browser. Okay, so let us try to see how OSSEC is generating events over here. If you are able to see this particular window, that means you are able to successfully install OSSEC and its UI version over here as well. And if you see, like these are the events it generates, like SSH insecure connection attempt, OS server start, like this different kinds of. Okay, now our job is to send these events as a syslog to a port, so that from Splunk we can basically consume that. Okay, to do that, what we'll do is we will open the same configuration file which we have used to add this kind of like directory checks and alert new file settings. Okay, so this is the OSSEC.conf file. Okay, and we will go back over here. We'll say vi this particular conf file. Now we will go to end of this particular file. Okay, now over here we will add a configuration for the syslog. Okay, so how we will do it, we will basically take this one. Let's say syslog output. So let us first write it in a particular notepad. So we have to basically add this particular tag over here, syslog underscore output. Over there you need to give the server name. Now as this particular Google Cloud instance only, we will be using it as a OSSEC server, and this particular instance only will be using it a consumer only. So here basically, here in the server name, you need to give the server which is consuming, or to which you will be basically sending this syslog, okay, as a output. So as we'll be using the same server, we'll be giving the localhost IP address over here, just like 127.0.0.1 over here. Okay, So 127.0.0.1. Okay, I hope you have able to understand why I have given the localhost IP over here, because this is the server to which the syslog will be sent, as we are using the same server, okay, where we have installed the OSSEC. So that's why we are giving the local server name over here. Now you need to give the port and the format. Okay, so port will be giving 514 over here. So let us do that one. So port, let us give 514 over here /port. Okay, and the format you need to always give default over here. Okay, /format. So this is the stanza, or basically the XML tag you need to add it over here. Okay, so let me verify it once. So this is the doc file I was talking about. So this doc file will be also available in my GitHub repo, so that just follow that one as well. Okay, so this particular settings we will be adding it over here. Okay, so that it can generate the syslog output and send it to the local server only, this particular instance only, to the port 514, so that we in Splunk we will just consume, or we basically just monitor this 514 UDP port. That's it. Okay, so save it. So now it is generating the syslog output in the port. Now let us try to install our Splunk. Okay, now as we have already seen in my Splunk admin videos, first we need to download Splunk using wget. So I am using Splunk 8 version as well. So this particular file also will be present in the GitHub repo. Just follow that one as well. So I'll just clear the screen. I will download Splunk first. Okay, after it downloaded, I will just install it using dpackage. After it completed the installation, we will go to Splunk bin folder and enable the boot start and then Splunk start. Okay, so let us enable the boot start, so that whenever you are basically restarting this particular instance, Splunk will also be restarted. Okay, so we have to accept the license agreement over here. We need to go below. You have to give Y over here. You have to give the admin username and password over here. Okay, so now that's done. Now let us start Splunk. So our Splunk installation has been completed. Okay, so let us wait for the Splunk to be available. Okay, Splunk is available now. So the same way we have accessed the OSSEC, we will be accessing Splunk in the similar stuff. We just need to give the external IP. So if I just refer it back again, so this is our external IP, right? 35.222.36.55. So that is what we are using it over here to access Splunk. And now as the Splunk web is running on port number 8000, so that is what we have given it over here, right? So if I just try to access this particular site, let's see how it's working. I'm hoping it may fail. Okay, now it is working for me, because one of the reasons that thing I just wanted to show you over here is it may not work for you at the first time, because if I just go to VPC network and the firewall rule, okay, there are a couple of firewall rules I have added over here. One is this one, allow Splunk. If you see, you need to basically allow the TCP connection or TCP traffic for the port 8000 over here. And also another one, I have created allow UDP over here. If you see it, you need to allow the incoming traffic for the port 514 for the UDP connection as well. So these two firewall rule you have to add it over there. Otherwise this Splunk may not come, and as well as OSSEC may not be able to send the syslog data to port 514 as well. Okay, so let us log in with our password. user ID and password we just created while we install Splunk. Okay, so we are able to successfully install Splunk. Now let us first try to create an input which will be basically consuming that syslog data. Okay, so for that what we'll do is we will go to settings, we'll go to data inputs. Okay, under UDP I will click on add new over here in the local inputs. Okay, now from here the protocol will be UDP, the port will be the 514 which you have given, source name if you want to override, and if you just wanted to filter the server names over here, server IP address over here from which you only accept the connections, you can give it over here. I will leave it blank. I'll be clicking on next. The source type, let's create a new source type called OSSEC. Okay, for this source type only we will be creating our props.conf and transform.conf configurations over there. Okay, in the next video. And it's a custom source type, and let's say intrusion data. So this is basically nothing but intrusion data. Okay, and app context, let's select the search and reporting over here. That does not make any much difference. Index, we will choose main over here, our default index. We'll click on review, we'll be clicking on submit. So if everything is fine, ideally the input syslogs will be showing up over here. Okay, so let's see. So if I just go to main, nothing is coming up. Let's wait for certain amount of time, maybe no extra events may be generated, that's why. So let us do one thing. Let us, to test this one, let us try to restart once. Okay, one thing I have missed to do over here is once we set up this particular syslog server, right, there are two things we have to do. Is you have to enable the client syslog in OSSEC. That I missed to do, sorry about that. So you can always do it from here as well. Okay, so from basically you have to enable this client syslog, and then you have to basically restart the OSSEC. Sorry about that. This step is actually mentioned in my file. Okay, now if you have done correctly, so you will be seeing is string something, output something like this one, started OSSEC C syslog D. So this is important. Until and unless you are doing it, it will not be sending the data to the syslog 514 port over there. Okay, now let us try to see if we have something in our main index. Yeah, it started coming up if you see it over here. Okay, so keep it for a couple of hours, you will get good amount of events over there. Okay, so then maybe in the next video we will try to analyze the event structure, and then we'll see how we can make it this particular data SIM compatible. Okay, now before we leave for the day, let us try to install the CIM app over here. So it is very easy to install. We will go to manage apps. Okay, so we will say browse more apps. From here we will search for CIM over here. This is the app, you need to install it over here. Okay, so just click on install. You need to give the Splunk username and password over here. Okay, accept it, install it. Okay, so it has been successfully installed. You won't be able to see it from here because this app by default is not visible. Okay, so just if you just wanted to know if this particular app has been installed correctly or not, you just go to the all apps screen, and from here you should be able to see this one as well. Okay, so there is a setup page which we'll be discussing in the next video, what to do about that one. Okay, but this is what we just discussed about, how we can set the OSSEC data in an environment, and how to install the Splunk CIM app. Okay, now in the next video we'll try to analyze the events we are receiving from the OSSEC. Okay, and then try to see how we can make this particular data SIM compatible in Splunk. Okay, so hopefully this video was helpful. See you in next video.